TYT reporter Michael Tracy uncovered quite a story. Lockheed Martin expands manufacturing overseas while pushing tax cuts as job creators. Lockheed Martin, the world's largest military contractor, is actively helping President Trump sell tax cuts as job creators, even as its own financial filings show the company is investing in an increasing amount of overseas manufacturing. A review by TYT of Lockheed Martin's SEC filings and earnings calls with Wall Street analysts shows no mention of future domestic hiring enabled by prospective tax cuts in its spending plans. Lockheed Martin chairwoman, president, and CEO Marilyn Hewson has attended 2 events with President Trump that were intended to boost his economic agenda. At a February 23rd Made in America manufacturing roundtable at the White House, Trump introduced the roster of corporate executives by saying, "My administration's policies and regulatory reform, tax reform, trade policies will return significant manufacturing jobs to our country." Well, turns out, wrong. To steal from Trump himself. Wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. Wrong. So think about how slimy these people are. Because this just flies directly in the face of what they say will happen, what their theory is as to what will happen. They argue, look, if you give tax cuts to the rich and to corporations, they're going to bring all their jobs back here because you're letting them save more money so they don't feel like they have to send the jobs overseas in order to, save and make more money to pad the bottom line. So just do that and everything's all hunky-dory. As Lockheed Martin is pushing for that policy, they're outsourcing jobs. What? We care so deeply about having jobs in the U.S., which is why we're in the middle of outsourcing a bunch of jobs. This is like Trump himself. Made in America week. We want to be made in America, which is why virtually all of my products are not made in America. Even when they say with tax repatriation. So what that means is all the money that's hidden overseas in offshore tax havens. Democrats and Republicans want to make a deal to bring that money back to the U.S. They do it under the promise of, oh, hey, if they bring the money back here, we get to tax them a lower percentage because they'll never just bring it back out of the kindness of their hearts and pay the regular rate. So you give them a big-ass tax break, give them a lower tax rate, and then they promise, we'll bring jobs back here. Well, every time they've done tax repatriation, they don't bring any jobs back here. Chris Christie gave tremendous tax cuts to corporations in New Jersey. They said, we're going to, bring a bunch of jobs back here. They didn't bring jobs back. They didn't bring jobs back. So he gave them the tax cuts and they didn't bring the jobs back. Same fucking thing over and over. Now Lockheed Martin is directly lobbying, yeah, we care about bringing jobs to the U.S., so that's why we're expanding our manufacturing overseas, as we say, give us a tax cut because then we build here. But you don't. This is what happens when the military-industrial complex runs the show. This is what happens when big money runs our politics. They own the politicians, they get them to do what they want, and they push fairy tales and lies to make you think it's okay.